Lionel Messi is the greatest Barcelona player of all time. But what if instead of starting a la Masia, he came through La Fabrica, the Real Madrid Academy? So today I'm gonna find out by putting Messi in the Real Madrid Academy, trying to turn him into a Real Madrid legend by winning their first ever treble and also a Ballon d'Or. However, winning a treble and a Ballon d'Or for Madrid is not gonna be easy, especially as Messi is a 66 overall. Because throughout Messi's career, he will have different rivals at different stages, which will make him a better footballer and slowly make him win the treble and the Ballon d'Or for Real Madrid, with the first rival being KK Bamba, another academy player for Real Madrid, and the first player to score 5 goals in the Youth Academy tournament will get a pro contract. And well, things did not start good for Messi as KK Bamba scored a hat-trick in the first game of the youth tournament. However, Messi responded greatly in the semi, scoring a hat-trick himself, and now in the youth tournament final against Celta Vigo, I made the tough decision to move Messi to the right-hand side so he can cut inside and hopefully get to 5 goals, as they both are on 3 goals as of right now. But once again, the final did not start off well as KK Bamba scored his 4th goal of the youth tournament. But quickly, Messi responded with his 4th goal of his own. But there was one last opportunity with a couple seconds left to go. Who's gonna get that pro contract? And here comes Lionel Messi, 1v1, cuts inside, finesses, and it goes in. Messi scores his 5th. He's getting that pro contract. And as Messi beats his first rival, KK Bamba leaves the Real Madrid Academy. And of course, Lionel Messi gets his first pro contract and signing for Real Madrid. However, it gets even better as Rodrigo has left Real Madrid and joined Pep Guardiola at Man City. But also, Brahim Diaz and Franco Mastuanu, they both tore their ACLs and will be out for the rest of the season, which leaves Messi as the only right winger in the side, and surely he will be starting every game in La Liga. However, there is bad news as Real Madrid have brought in another right winger in Desiree Doué, and now Lionel Messi will not be starting and is actually going to be loan listed for the rest of the season. And Lionel Messi has gone ahead and received 3 different loan offers, as the first offer is from Ajax, and the great thing is Ajax do play a 4-3-3, so Messi could fit in that right wing. However, there are 2 great right wingers at Ajax. I don't think Messi would get any game time. And the second loan offer Messi has received is from 2nd division Malaga. However, Malaga do not play a 4-3-3, which would mean Messi would have to play at right mid. However, with the 2 low rated right mids, Messi would probably be a starter and could drastically improve himself in La Liga 2. And the third and final loan offer is from Benfica, and once again, this is another good offer as they also play the 4-3-3. However, Benfica only have 1 right winger, and it's their new signing Oscar Bobb, who is a 72 overall, and Messi would have to fight for his place at Benfica. And Messi's decision has been made. He will be joining Benfica on loan for the next 2 seasons, as of course his next rival is Oscar Bobb. And in order for Messi to move on to his next rival, he has to go ahead and outscore Oscar Bobb at the club. But like I mentioned before, it's not gonna be easy because Oscar Bobb is the starting right winger while Messi sits on the bench. But of course, if Messi ever wants to outscore Bobb, he needs to go ahead and improve his shooting because it's only out of 58. So we're gonna be giving him the inside forward. However, it was time for the first game of the season as Oscar Bobb kicked off his debut brilliantly, scoring 2 goals. However, in the second half, Messi came on for his and really struggled to score his first goal. But in the dying minutes of the game, he did just that. Let's go, Messi has scored his first professional goal, and surely soon he will outscore Oscar Bobb, defeat all of his rivals, and find his way back to Real Madrid to become a Madrid legend. And Messi had a pretty good first season, 9 goals and 4 assists in only 27 appearances. He went up all the way to a 72 overall. However, Oscar Bobb outscored him by 9 goals with 16 and 36, as he is now a 75, so Messi could not do it in his first year. But as Benfica finished in 2nd place, Messi wins his first trophy with the Taça de Portugal. But of course, he has a 2nd season to go ahead and beat Oscar Bobb. And kicking off season 2, Messi's shooting has gone up drastically, specifically his finishing now at an 83. But despite his growth, Oscar Bobb is still in the starting 11, and I think the problem is that Messi just isn't higher rated than Bobb. And I think the solution to that problem is his dribbling stats, because he is currently a right winger. So in order to fix that, we're gonna go ahead and give him the winger role to not only increase his dribbling and ball control, but also his sprint speed and his acceleration. Hopefully this season he can outscore Oscar Bobb. And Messi Messi is now in the last game of the season as he is 1 goal behind Oscar Bobb, and he will be starting this game out of position on the left. But the question is, can Messi go ahead and outscore Oscar Bobb to beat him as his rival? And if you think Messi will outscore Bobb, subscribe right now. And Messi kicks off the game straight away, getting his 10th goal, tying with Oscar Bobb. However, right before halftime, Oscar Bobb got a goal of his own, and it's now 11 goals to Oscar. But in the second half, Oscar Bobb was looking dangerous, missing 2 huge opportunities. However, Messi scored his 11th goal of the season, which means he is now tied with Oscar Bobb, and there was 1 Benfica opportunity left. Who is going to score it? And now it's Lionel Messi on the ball with 1 last opportunity in this game. Can he go ahead and score his 12th goal to potentially beat Oscar Bobb? And yes, he does! Lionel Messi. Surely the game ends like this, and Messi will have beaten Oscar Bobb. And the game comes to an end as Messi picks up the match ball as he lifts his first ever league title and beats his current rival in Oscar Bobb. What's next for Messi? And there it is, Messi, 12 goals and 5 assists out of 75 overall, beating Oscar Bobb. He's on his way back to Madrid. The question is, will he be involved in the first team plans? And now in season 3, Messi has returned to Madrid out of 76 overall. But there is terrible news. Look at all the competition Messi will have here at the club. But it gets even worse as Xabi Alonso has let Messi know that he is surplus to requirements and will be transfer listing him in hopes that one day he can come back a better player, as Messi will now be leaving Real Madrid. But don't you worry, Messi will not give up. He'll be rivals along the way. He'll come back to Real Madrid and still become that Real Madrid legend. And now Messi has received 3 different transfer offers to go ahead and move on to his next club. But before we do find out what clubs, we have yet to figure out who the rival is. But I know whoever his next rival is, he's gonna have to go ahead and be the top playmaker in the league by getting top assists. So the first transfer offer Messi has received is from Sevilla, and this is currently the Sevilla formation with a right mid. However, if we want Messi to be the top assist in the league, I think we might have to shift him to cap, because remember, he can play there. And the second offer Messi has received is actually from Olympique Lyonnais. Once again, they do have a center attacking mid in the formation, and there isn't a lot of competition for playmakers. And the final offer Messi has received is from Como in the Serie A. Now, once again, they do have the center attacking mid formation. However, in the Serie A, there's a bunch of amazing playmakers like Paulo Dybala, Kenan Yildiz, and even Christopher Nkunku, who just joined AC Milan. I'm not sure what the best offer is here. And Messi has made his decision as he is joining Como in the Serie A. I think the reason he's joined this club because the manager is Cesc Fabregas. And it seems like Messi made the right decision as he is the only cam, and he will be in the starting 11. And this team is not looking too bad. But that makes me wonder, who is Messi's next rival going to be? Well, I guess we'll find out at the end of the season, as Messi's passing is nowhere near to get top assister in the entire league, so we'll see who tops it. But in order to improve his passing stats, we're gonna go ahead and go for the advanced playmaker role. However, on Messi's debut for Como, he really struggled in that cam position, misplacing every pass. But eventually, he got this opportunity. But here comes Messi. He's been really struggling in this cam position. It's a through ball into Ivan Alson, and yes, Messi gets his first assist. That's what he needed. And as Messi finally got his first assist, he ended up scoring his debut day goal as well, as the game ended 2-0. And a goal and assist on Messi's debut is not bad. Let's see how many assists he gets, but more importantly, who's gonna be his rival at this stage of his career. And it was a pretty great season for Messi, as he was a top goal scorer with 13 goals, but he also had 8 assists. However, only 5 of them were in the Serie A. That is nowhere near what he needs to be the top assister, but he at least is at a 79 overall. And as Como finished in 13th place, as you can see, Messi's not even in the top 25 players. He needs to do better. Who will he be competing here during his time here in the Serie A? And it's going to be Martin Ødegaard, 15 assists for Juventus. Man, that is going to be a tough rival for Messi to overcome. And kicking off season number 4, Messi's passing is looking incredible. But now that we know his rival is Martin Ødegaard, he needs to improve drastically. And I think something that can help Messi get his assist up is to go ahead and give him both corners for the team. However, there is one huge issue. His curve is extremely low, and if he wants to be taking good corners, he needs to increase that. So the only development plan to increase his curve is actually the winger role. So we will not be training his cam stats, but rather his stats as a winger to improve that curve accuracy. And currently, halfway through the season, Messi already has 5 assists, all of them being in the Serie A, equaling last season's numbers. And not only that, but his curve has gone up to a 75. And I think that's good enough to take some good corners. So for the rest of the season, we're going into the playmaker role. Let's really test his corner-taking abilities. Lionel Messi really struggled to take these corners as he couldn't get one to somebody's head and they couldn't score a goal. However, it seemed like this corner was going to be perfect. And it's Lionel Messi taking another corner. Can he finally give a good one into Valle? And it goes in. Messi gets his first assist from a corner. I knew it was worth it. And the game does end 1-0 as Messi gets another assist. Can he somehow beat Ødegaard to the top assist man? And Messi continues to improve. 8 goals and 10 assists. And now at an 82 overall. I still fear that Ødegaard did not get less than 10. And as Como climbed up the table to 6th place, Lionel Messi finished in 7th place with 10 assists. The question is, how much did Ødegaard get? And he got 17 assists. Messi is a long way from doing so. You know what? Messi is not going to give up. Let's go to the brand new season. Because if he ever wants to go back to Madrid to win a treble and a Ballon d'Or, he needs to beat the likes of Martin Ødegaard. And to kick off season number 5, I think I have found the problem. Ødegaard is playing with some world-class attackers like Jonathan David and Nico Gonzalez, but they have also stolen Ivan Azon from Como. However, there is a huge problem. The club had a financial crisis and wasn't able to renegotiate contracts for their best players, so now this team is looking like this and without a single striker in the entire club. So I think what we must do is simple. It's transfer list Lionel Messi and go to a different Serie A club that has a better striker. And Lionel Messi has gone ahead and gotten 3 different Serie A offers, with the first club being Torino, who do employ a center attacking mid, which is good. However, their best striker is Tulawese Arokodare, who is pretty good, but other than that, they don't have another good attacker. This might be a huge risk. The second offer that's coming is from Lazio. And as big as they are, they also have an attacking mid, but their strikers are even worse, with the highest rated being a 77. And the final offer Messi has received is actually from Atalanta. And now let me tell you, this might be the best offer. They have Igor Paixão, who's an 82 overall. But as striker, they have Rasmus Højlund. And I know he's terrible in real life, but in FIFA, he's incredible. So of course, Lionel Messi is joining Atalanta, as we are not going to run away from Ødegaard, and Messi is going to defeat him as his rival to move on to the next stage of his career. And as Messi has arrived in Atalanta, he'll be playing in that right center attacking mid role, as he will be taking corners from both sides, feeding Rasmus Højlund. And in terms of development plans this season, I want to continue to improve his passing. So once again, we're going for the playmaker role. But can Lionel Messi finally beat Martin Ødegaard? And we are now in March in the season, and Messi is sitting in 2nd place in the assist charts, only 2 assists behind Martin Ødegaard. And up next, Atalanta is facing Juventus. If Messi can out-assist Ødegaard here, it could put him on track to beating him in the assist charts. And Messi kicks off this game straight away, passing the ball to Højlund as he scores. But he also gets a second assist in the second half to Rasmus Højlund again. And to the surprise of everybody, Messi gets a 3rd pass into Højlund as he gets his hat-trick. I cannot believe this. Messi gets a hat-trick of assists. And now with only a couple games to go, Messi's topping the assist charts. Can he hold on till the end of the season? And at the end of the season, Messi finishes with 7 goals and 25 assists. And now at an 85 overall, did Ødegaard pass him once again? And as Atalanta finished in 3rd place, won the Coppa Italia, and even won the Conference League, Messi has topped the assist charts, beating Ødegaard, getting past him, as he will be on to his next rival. And now in the brand new season, as Messi is the highest rated player in the team, at 21 years old, 86 overall, I think it's time for him to go to a bigger club than Atalanta. And let me tell you, Messi has received some humongous offers. And the first one being in La Liga from Atletico de Madrid. Now, I'm not sure what the next challenge and rival are, but I do know that Messi does not prefer this formation. 2 strikers, 2 center midfielders, and 2 right mids and left mids. He could play striker, but I'm not sure if that's the best decision for him. And up next is in the Bundesliga with Borussia Dortmund. They do play with 2 camps, the exact formation he was just playing with Atalanta. But what if this next challenge is to win a trophy? I don't think he'll do it with Bayern in the same league. And the final offer he has received is actually from Newcastle United, where they do have a right winger where he can play in his original position. I just wish I knew what rival and challenge we had up next. And Messi has made his decision. He is arriving here in Tyneside to join Newcastle United. However, there is some bad news, as his next challenge is to go ahead and win the Golden Boot over his rivals. And it turns out he has a rival in his own club in Alexander Isak. But let's hope that Messi can do it in the black and white colors. And Messi has arrived in Newcastle, and like I said, Alexander Isak is still here. And boys, it definitely does not help that his shooting is only at a 77. We should have improved it a long time ago. So of course, this season we're going for the inside forward role. But it was time for Messi's debut against Palace, where he started off straight away, scoring his first goal. However, what happened next just proves how good Isak is, as he went ahead and scored a hat-trick against Palace to win 4-0. And it's a successful debut for Messi. However, Isak scored a hat-trick. It's not good for Messi, because if he ever wants to win the treble and the Ballon d'Or of Real Madrid, he needs to outscore this monster. And at the end of the season, Messi has a great season, 25 goals and 17 assists, but you can already tell that he did not outscore Isak in the Premier League, as he scored 45. But hey, at least Messi is at an 89 overall. And as Newcastle finished in second place, won the Carabao and the Europa League, Messi actually finished in 6th place in his first ever season in the Prem. But of course, who was a top goal scorer? And it is Isak, but Haaland also scored 30 goals. It seems like Haaland has become a rival as well for Messi. Beating the two best strikers in the Premier League is not going to be easy. And now in the new season, just take a look at Messi's shooting stats. Now at an 85, it's improved drastically. However, there is only one way for Messi to outscore Isak, and that is to take penalties. However, Isak does have a penalties of 83, while Messi has one of 61. So he has to improve them before he can take them. And literally the only way to improve penalties is to go ahead and keep them on a balanced development plan. So let's hope he can improve them by next season. We are now towards the end of the season, and Messi's penalties have gone up to an 85. An insane amount of growth, considering we only went for balance. And what better way to test out his new penalty ability, as he's in the FA Cup final against Liverpool, and it's gone to a penalty shootout. And like I mentioned, Messi is the first penalty taker, so let's see how that goes. But up first, it is Endrick for Liverpool, as he goes to the left-hand side and he smashes it in. But now Lionel Messi, can he go ahead and score his first ever penalty? And he bangs it in. Let's go. And the rest of the pen shootout was a journey, as Isak misses penalty, but at the end of the day, Newcastle ended up winning the shootout and they lift the FA Cup trophy. I think Messi will be ready to win the Golden Boot next season. And at the end of the season, Messi gets 23 and 20, which is actually incredible, but Isak still outscored him. But now at a 90 overall, I believe next year is his year. And as Messi also wins the Prem title, he finished in 11th place with only 12 goals. And this time around, Haaland won the Golden Boot with Isak 1 goal behind him. But as Messi will be the penalty taker, I think he'll be beating Haaland and Isak next season and moving on to the next rival. And now in his 3rd season at Newcastle, he is now the penalty taker on his route to winning the Golden Boot. And he is now at a 91 overall, as this time around we're giving him the wide playmaker role, as his shooting is already insane. And what a season Messi has had, 51 goals and 18 assists. Now at a 94, there is no chance he didn't win the Golden Boot. And as Newcastle finished in 2nd, Erling Haaland has beaten Lionel Messi to the Golden Boot by 4 goals. At least he's beaten Isak so far. Let's see if he can do it in the next season. And in the new season, I think it's time we end Erling Haaland. I've converted Messi to the full-time striker. He went down to -2, but I think this is the only way he beats the world's best striker. And now with his shooting at a 97, let's go ahead and max that out. Let's give him the poacher development plan. And what better first game for Messi at striker in the Club World Cup final against Madrid. And Messi got started straight away, scoring 2 goals in the first 15 minutes. However, in the second half, Reject FC turned into Arsenal FC, as they bottled the entire game, as Madrid turned it around to make it 3-2. Boys, I cannot believe Newcastle and Messi have bottled it. Real Madrid score a winner as they lift the Club World Cup. And it's Messi's best ever season, 60 goals, 14 assists. Now back to a 93 overall. Surely that Golden Boot is his. And after another Premier League win, Messi has finally won the Golden Boot, beating his rival Isak and Haaland, which has earned him a move to Real Madrid. But before he goes back, he is moving on to his second to last rival, and that is Franco Mastuano for Argentina, because it is a World Cup year and both of them have been selected. And as Messi and Mastuano join the side, in order for him to beat Mastuano is to outscore him in the World Cup, regardless of how far they go. And sadly, Argentina got knocked out in the round of 16 to USA, but Messi did score 1 goal and Mastuano scored 0. So Messi technically has beaten Mastuano, his rival, which means there's one rival left, and it's going to be when he's at Real Madrid. And as Lionel Lionel Messi is joining Real Madrid. KK Bamba has returned to La Liga in his prime, joining FC Barcelona, as Messi's final two rivals is KK Bamba and also Desiree Doué, the man who basically made him leave this club, as in order to get past him to win the treble and the Ballon d'Or, he has to go ahead and be the top goal scorer in the Champions League. And just look at Messi in the brand new Madrid kits. If you want these in your career mode save, check out Road Kits in the link of the description. And Messi has finally returned to Real Madrid with this side. Let's make him a Madrid legend. As potentially for the final development plan, let's give him the target forward and try to win it all in this last season. And what a season for Messi. 63 goals, 23 assists, now with a 95 overall. The question is he the top goal scorer of the UCL? And Lionel Messi wins La Liga with Madrid. He also wins the Copa del Rey. And as he finished first in the group, if he's in the final, he is on a treble. And in the round of 16, they beat Bayern. In the quarters, they beat Newcastle, his old club. And in the semis, they beat Atletico and will be facing Leverkusen in the UCL final. But the question is he the top goal scorer? And it looks like he is, only one goal ahead of KK Bamba and 4 goals ahead of Desiree Doué. It looks like he has that secured and now just has to complete the treble. And as the UCL final kicked off, things did not start off well, as Bayer Leverkusen scored 2 goals in quick succession, and going into halftime we were 2-0 down. But thankfully Desiree Doué had a masterclass and scored the next 2 goals to equalize this game, as there was one opportunity left to win this entire final. And here comes Lionel Messi on the run. Can he go ahead and win the treble for Real Madrid? Squares it into Doué, and it's a hat-trick for Desiree Doué in the 88th minute of the game. Surely Messi is a Madrid legend. And Fede Valverde lifts the Champions League, completing the treble for Madrid. And of course, Lionel Messi wins the Ballon d'Or, becoming a Real Madrid legend. And if you guys enjoyed this video, click on the screen and watch me put Ronaldo in the Liverpool Academy.